Shazam Fury of the Gods is here, and I recently went and watched this movie at the theater with my kids. They wanted to go see it. I wasn't going to go to the theater to see it, but they wanted to go see it, so I went ahead and took them. They asked me, I'm gonna take them. My kids are good. They deserve it. I will spoil them because they do good. They're good kids and stuff like that. So hey, they asked me to go see the movie. I'm gonna take them to see the movie. So we rode our bikes there to see the movie, and I even got those. We got D box seats. I never had D box. Where like shakes and everything. Like it was pretty cool, and it also had the screen X where it kind of wraps around the side, and that was kind of cool. I mean, I wouldn't want to see every movie like that, but my kids wanted to see it, so I'm like, okay, let's go see Shazam Fury of the Gods, the sequel to the first Shazam movie. Where, in case you don't know, you got a young kid, Billy Batson, who becomes a superhero. Who he don't really have a superhero name, which they kind of get into in this movie, but you even seen that in the first movie. But people, I don't know. I guess he kind of goes by Shazam, like that's what he says when he touches the little, or when he to change. But when he touched the staff, that's what gave him his powers from the wizard, and then he gave the same powers to his foster family kids. You watched the first movie, right? I don't know. Maybe you didn't. Well, anyway, so we're kind of following that, where the kids are, they're grown up a little bit, and they've all got powers and they're kind of dealing with that, and of course, Billy Batson, the main character, Shazam, in this case, or Captain Marvel, they call him that in the movie, Captain Marvel. And so they even, like they kind of going a little bit more into that, kind of where he's at in life as he is, a little bit older, and just the struggles of dealing with that and being a superhero, and him, and just how the family has kind of, I don't know, grown apart, even though they are so together. And I mean, the movie I thought was pretty good. I don't think it was as heartfelt as the first one, even though there were some kind of heartfelt moments in it. And altogether, I think the movie itself was actually pretty good. For what the Shazam franchise is, considering the first movie and then where they are at now in this particular franchise, in the Shazam franchise, I will say we'll get into a little bit more of that in just a minute. But obviously, we got Zachary Levi coming back, all the same actors coming back and playing the kids as well. Including Asher Archer. I can't remember. Just all the kids. That were in the first one are there, and I think this is like the cast. I mean, the cast was great in the first place, but I think this is where it kind of gets a little odd because like all the kids are really aged out of these roles. I mean, you look at the kid who's playing Billy Batson. Like this is almost like watching like Spider-Man. Like people talk about Toby and Spider-Man. You're like, oh man, you got this guy in his 30s playing a teenager, and like I don't think he was quite 30 yet. But the point is like that's if you see how much this kid has matured, over the last few years. Like you look at this kid, you're like, dude, this is a man playing a teenager, right? Like he's supposed to be getting ready to turn 18, and then you see kind of the rest of the family, but like the other glaring one is the youngest sister, the daughter, the youngest daughter sister. You get me. But she's the one that turns to Megan Good when she's, the superhero. But like this girl looks like she's like 20 years old playing a 12-year-old. Okay, like it's but they just went along with it. Like they're like, you know what, just put all the stuff on. We'll work with it, and they worked with it, and it fine. I mean, the actor was still able to pull off acting like a little kid. And I think that was kind of the funny thing about this movie is essentially you've got adults kind of acting like little kids acting like adults, and then you've got like young adults acting like kids, right? Like I don't know, it just kind of struck me as funny. But then obviously, they got the daughters of the daughters of Atlas, wasn't it Atlas that are here in this movie as the villains, which are played by Helen Mirren. I can't remember the young lady's name who's playing the youngest, but then Obviously, we've got Osaka, what was Oren Ishii, yeah, right, Lucy Liu, and all these actors came in. I thought they were pretty good in what they were doing for these roles and everything. I think the cast themselves all did a pretty good job in the movie. The only thing is, like, the movie suffers for like those heartfelt moments. Like I said, they don't feel as heartfelt. The action in the movie I thought was pretty good. I mean, obviously with Shazam going from the first one, if you like the first one, you'll like the second one. A bunch of the silly humor, and I will say, like, that's one of the things, like maybe this is kind of its downfalls because it's full of a lot of that. But the thing that I like about it, like the thing I like about this movie, and I did like the movie, is that it was just a fun, good time. The humor was, I guess, pretty well placed for the most part, and none of it was like ridiculous humor where I'm sitting there like rolling my eyes, like, okay, like that was just stupid. Like, that was just stupid. Like, some of it is kind of just like immature-ish kind of kid humor. I mean, look what you're dealing with. But like, it was pretty good. I had a good time at the movie, right? Now, the thing is, like, it kind of suffers for a lot of things, too, because, like, while it is not that serious movie, the movie, you don't have to rush out and see, especially because it's connected to itself. It was never really tied to any of the other movies in the DCEU anyway, right? And now, at this point, by the time this movie even hits theaters, we have announcements that the movie, I mean, it's pretty much doesn't matter because the DCEU is being scrapped and they're now going with the DCU. It looks like some things are moving forward, some things aren't. But then you get into this movie, and you get to there's some post credit scenes, mid credit, post credit, and like it still gives implications like it's gonna go on, but we already really know it's not. So, like, it suffers for so many reasons, and not for reasons like the recent Ant-Man Quantumania suffered, but it's suffering the same fate, if not even worse. And I think a lot of that is because the announcements, with the DCU coming up, this movie was pretty much dead in the water. No matter how good this movie was going to be. Now, I think the movie was good. It was a fun time, but like, it's not great. And it's also not trying to be either. I don't think. I think it's just this movie knows what it is. It's not trying to be what it's not. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's not trying to save comic book movies right now. Everybody thinks like, we got comic book movie fatigue when it's really not that. It's ultimately just bad writing, or sometimes it's not even bad writing, just boring. It's just bad. Just like certain things that just make some of these movies not pop and be as good as they could be. And I think this movie suffers for a lot of those things. Like, it was never really connected to the universe in the first place, really only connected to itself. And the fact that we know this whole stuff is going away anyway. Plus the fact, like, I don't know, like, how many people really care about Shazam. I don't even know how the first one did in the box office, but I don't think this one, like most sequels, aren't going to do as good as the first films anyway. So there are some exceptions, but regardless, I don't think this was going to be that altogether. I think the movie was pretty good. My kids enjoyed it. I thought this movie was actually better than the first one, to be quite honest with you. And not like largely, but just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. And that's all it really has to be better, right? Just a little bit. But I don't know. That's if you ask me. Let me know down in the comments below if you've seen it, if you're going to go see it. Chances are, if you're watching this right now on the day this is premiering, you either are or aren't. You're probably not going to catch it next week or the week after. I mean, some people may, but for the most part, I don't think it's one that's going to be doing too well. It looks like it's doing pretty bad already. So far as I'm recording this here on Sunday evening. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and we'll see you all in the next video. Later.